You, me, going on my walk with me. Well, you're taking a break with me on my walk. That's what you're doing. So, talking about culture vultures. Today, on the Satanic thought experiment and my ragging on the Satanic temple. Why culture vultures? Why do I bring up culture vultures now? This is what I get at when I bring up LaVey as a fry cook. This is the cycle. You got, let's say, a poor person, a working class person comes up with some cool ideas like street art. And it gets manipulated. And now street art's used by realtors to forge ahead with gentrification and moving people out of their neighborhoods. When originally street art was meant to scare people away from the neighborhoods. It was scary, much like the tattoo culture. It was scary. People got tattoos so you fear us. Stay the fuck away. And now it's become trendy. And it's very not like it was. Yes, things change, but that doesn't make it right. Always. Cultural appropriation is a thing. And unfortunately, I had a hand in selling out a culture that I appreciate. I did that because I was angry at the Church of Satan and Peter Gilmore. I did that because I was not in the right state of mind in my relationships. And I did that because I needed money, and it was offered to me. The Satanic Temple still owes me that money, a great deal of it. And I will be suing them eventually for that by 2022. My lawyers tell me. But I digress. The idea here is that Ivy League folks, the formally educated, come in, scoop in, and they take ideas from the indigenous. They take ideas from the lower classes and the working classes. And the worst part about this to me is that they're half-assed. They don't sit there and study those cultures for decades in order to steal the ideas and make them better. They just take what they see as cool. The black, the goat, the jewelry, the sayings, and then they run with it. And it's unfortunate that people are so fucking ignorant that they run with that shit. You know, they go with it. I'm an ignorant person too. You know, I fall for this shit myself. But the idea here with the Satanic Temple is there's a danger. There's a danger that really, you know, working class people, that's my people. I give a fuck if the formally educated in Ivy League goes to war. I wish they would. I think there's too many of them, actually. How's that? If we want to separate things and hate on things. And culture vultures are people who swoop and see something cool. They're not cool, but they have all the resources to do something about cool. Like they see street art, like it's the poor kid, it's the kid from, the rich kid from art school has to justify that money he spent on art school. You know, so he doesn't have that creative touch or that need to express himself with abstracts, with feelings. Formally educated communicate in this limited language, which is words. They're very limited people, formally educated people. They have a very small world. Small worldview is all they've been taught is their worldview. Street artists, people from the street, poor people have a huge worldview. And I find it funny. Anyway, and so it's like art school students. They spend all that money on art school, and then they're not artists. They don't have that they don't have the ideas. They have the technical ability now. So what do? They drive through a bad neighborhood. They see graffiti. They rip off the fucking style, the culture. And next thing you know, you see it on Nikes and in Nike ads. And it's a different thing. It's no longer underground, it's above ground. And it turns into something different. Underground culture is usually dangerous. It is dangerous. Fuck that, it is dangerous. Not usually, it's dangerous because it's part of what the proper definition for hipster, it would be hipsters. And the original definition of hipster was like jazz artists, people who wore zoot suits. You know, the gay movement, the original drag. It was underground, it was dangerous, and it was dangerous to be that. Anton LaVey was a hipster, but he's also a fry cook, like I mentioned in my last video. And this is where things get upsetting for me, is to see the fry cook being picked on or made fun of, or his salad dressing test made fun of by the elite, the educated, the formally educated, when his observations were astute, they were profound, they were scientific, and they were thoughtful. So, talking about culture vultures and my credentials a bit, try to sum it up in less than 8 minutes, huh? My credentials: I was jumped in by 60s counterculture folks like an R. Crumb, a Jay Lynch, a Skip Williamson, a Bob Rudnick, a John Sinclair. John Sinclair was a White Panther, worked with the Black Panthers. But you and I'm liking having these talks. You got to look into the idea of culture vulture and understand this. I'm an underground artist, but if you look closely and you do your research, holy fuck, look at this. If you do your research,